All right, today we're talking about Tai Chi, but probably not in the way you're used to thinking about it. We're going to explore it as as a deep conversation you can have with your own body.
So let me just ask you this straight up. Are you listening to your body? I mean, really listening? Or is it kind of like, that background hum from the refrigerator you've just learned to completely tune out? Because let's be honest, in our crazy busy lives, it's just so easy to ignore the little whispers, right? That slight ache in your back, a little stiffness in your neck, that feeling of just being a little off. We just pop a painkiller maybe, or tell ourselves, I'm used to it. And we just keep pushing through. But what if those ignored whispers, those tiny little signals, are actually the most important messages we could ever get? What if they're telling a much, much deeper story about what's really going on inside? And this, right here, is where a practice like Tai Chi really begins. It completely reframes these little discomforts. They're not just annoying aches and pains anymore. They're actually signals, your body's cries for help. This is the front door to the whole practice. Okay, so let's get into the heart of this, because this is where our whole idea of Tai Chi might just get flipped on its head. Forget thinking about it as just another exercise. We're talking about a super precise diagnostic tool. Yeah, seriously. Think of Tai Chi less like a workout routine and more like a high-powered magnifying glass, or maybe even a surgeon's scalpel. Its main job isn't to make you move, it's to make you see, to perceive all the tiny, subtle misalignments and tensions inside that you'd normally miss 100% of the time. And here's a perfect example of how that works. You might just feel, a slight tightness in your chest. Annoying, but whatever. But through the focused lens of Tai Chi, you might discover, whoa, it's actually like this solid wall of stagnant energy built up from years of stress, and it's physically blocking the flow inside you. Or how about this one? You think you're just standing. Totally normal, right? But the practice reveals this hidden, constant tension in your shoulders. It's like this little clench that's always on, acting like a tiny black hole that's just quietly sucking your energy away. All day, every single day, and you never even knew it was happening. This idea, it just perfectly captures this piece of ancient wisdom from a classic Chinese medical text. The whole point isn't to wait until you're really sick to do something. The absolute genius of this practice is catching these tiny little imbalances before they blow up into major problems. It's preventative medicine at its most subtle level. So, naturally, this brings us to the biggest question most people have about Tai Chi. You know the one. If the whole point is just to notice stuff, why on earth does it have to be so ridiculously slow? It's a totally fair question, right? If the goal is just awareness, why all the emphasis on being slow and calm and quiet and gentle? Well, it turns out there's a very, very specific reason for that pace. And the source material for this explainer gives this absolutely perfect analogy. It says it's like tasting a really fine tea. If you just gulp it down, sure, you quench your thirst, but you miss everything. To really taste the subtle charm, the delicate flavors, you have to sip slowly. It's the exact same principle with your body. So here's the bottom line. Speed is the enemy of subtlety. You have to move slowly enough to actually feel that tiny, harmful twist in your knee as your weight shifts. You have to become quiet enough on the inside to hear a faint muscle spasm deep in your back. One that's probably been there for years, just blocking everything up. Okay, so now we get to the really exciting part. Once you can perceive these things, you can actually start to change them. This isn't just about finding problems. It's about actively remodeling your body's entire operating system. It's a total renovation. So think about it like this. Every tiny little adjustment you make, like consciously releasing that shoulder tension or fixing that little twist in your posture, it's like an act of stop-loss for your life force. You are literally plugging the leaks that drain your energy. What you're really doing is teaching your body how to shift gears. You're moving it from combat mode, that default low-grade chronic stress state that so many of us live in, the one that just drains us dry, and you're shifting it back into recovery mode. That's its natural state of rest and nourishment and healing. You're going from an energy drain to an energy gain. And every single time you make one of these tiny corrections, it's like you're making a deposit into your life account. It's not about one big, dramatic fix, no. It's the slow, steady accumulation of hundreds of these mindful little adjustments that builds up this incredible reserve of vitality and energy. The classic texts describe the peak of this awareness with this amazing image, becoming so sensitive and balanced that you could feel the weight of a single feather being added, or that the landing of a tiny fly would disrupt your internal structure. Now, this isn't about being a superhero fighter. It's about maintaining a state of perfect, unshakable internal peace. So, what's this all really for? Where does this journey of subtle perception and correction ultimately lead? Well, it's about finding what's really there, underneath all the noise and tension.
Because at the end of the day, this kind of practice isn't really about building bigger muscles or becoming a martial arts master. It's about cultivating a deep, detailed, moment-to-moment care for your own life. It's a profound act of self-respect, really.
The ultimate goal here is to gently peel away all those layers of tension, all the unconscious habits, all the energetic blockages you've gathered over a lifetime. It's all about rediscovering that light, clear, transparent self that is your natural state of being, the real you. So, we'll just leave you with this one question. Right now, in this very moment, as you're sitting or standing there, what is your body trying to tell you? And are you finally ready to start listening?